Olá, pessoal do SouJava na Campus. Aqui é o Max, né? Estou aqui agora, acabei de chegar aqui na Campus Party, tá bem interessante aqui. Eu tenho que agradecer bastante aí a Alessandra e a Nayara que ficaram aí, estão aí organizando com a gente esse eu SouJava na Campus, e eu tenho que agradecer, beleza? Vocês estão aí no chat, deem o seu ok, mas a gente vai ter aqui uma palestra muito legal, muito massa, falando sobre open source, como você construir sua carreira, junto com o Nikita. Então eu vou trazer ele, como ele vai falar inglês, então eu vou fazer esse switch em inglês, tá ok? E a gente vai conversando. Se vocês tiverem perguntas, mandem no chat, eu vou tentar traduzir e passar para ele as perguntas, tá ok? E ele também sabe algumas coisas de português, então talvez ele lance alguma coisa em português aqui. Vou mudar para o inglês. I'm switching to English now. Okay, everyone, hello, wherever you are. So welcome to the SouJava na campus. So I'm so excited to bring to you guys a special friend of mine that is focused on open source and career mentorship. So if you are looking for ways to improve your career based on open source ways, so take a look on this guy. I'm bringing right now on the stage Nikita, welcome.
Olá, amigos meus de Brasil. Sou Nikita, sou programador. I hope I didn't insult half of Brazil with my Duolingo Portuguese. So yeah, I do mostly open source and AI and security, and at some point I will start doing things like blockchain, a lot of stuff, but mostly I talk and connect nice people from all around the globe and help them to share ideas. And yeah, so that's what our presentation is about. Uh, how do you say it? Boa tarde, amigos. Okay, so can you see screen? Can you ownership? So that's my talk.
Oh,
So
sorry, I was muted.
this
I
talk
was
had,
muted. Sorry, could you repeat again?
now it's, oh, this much.
Okay, okay.
It's fine.
So,
I'm just to 1 second to sharing because I think it's sharing docs stuff. 1 second.
well, I don't know if the
Uh,
people is
I think
if sound is
stop
good.
sharing
So,
and then I will share again.
okay, great.
I will share.
Nikita, let
Yes.
me let me let me ask you something. Do you prefer that I bring to you the questions along the way, or do you prefer to hold everything to
Yeah, along the
QA
way.
session on the end?
Al- uh, Por supuesto, along the way.
Okay, great.
Along the way is fine.
Okay, look, Victor Queiroz said on the chat, hello, Nick from Quixadá, Brazil. Welcome, Nikita, to campus. Amazing, amazing,
Okay,
amazing.
thank you. I hope to see you in person. So that was my journey. My transformation started with Bruno Souza from Brazil, world famous Bruno Java man.
Uh,
Before I met him, I was a developer, just a developer. And then Bruno showed me the way, like showed me that we can be so much more. So the whole my talk is actually based on something Bruno shared with us.
Okay, so Nikita,
So
I will show up your screen and I will give you the control to take it away. Okay, so let me share your
yeah,
screen and take it away, man. Have a good presentation. I will be in the backstage.
can you see
Okay?
Bruno? Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah,
Can you see
man.
Bruno? Yeah, good. So that's my presentation. It's called Career Ownership, the open source way. The name keeps changing, so in a year time it will be something else. That's my mentor and a friend, a very good friend, Bruno Souza de Brazil. Amazing person, like wow, he's cool. And I met him at DevOps Ukraine, I think 2 years ago, and he showed me that it's important how important sharing with others is and how much we can grow if we help others. and other things. So one of the things which Bruno shared with me later was this formula. Don't get afraid. You shouldn't be like afraid that, oh, so many letters. It's just an abstraction, right? It's not an exact math. With Bruno, nothing is exact math, but it works. It always works because it's Bruno. So the first thing in the formula, so basically everything on the top, it's a good thing. And everything on the bottom, it's a bad thing. So, and together, if you make the things on the top bigger, put effort there, and you make things on the bottom smaller, then your career will grow and your benefit to the society will grow. So the first thing which I found, which open source allowed me to do, because like personally, although I do open source so much, I would say that I don't really like, I wouldn't care about open source because open source is just a license, right? It's a piece of paper, one of like many, like MIT license, Apache license. How can you be in love with license? But what open source allows me to do, it allows me to like to do things I love, to help people in different ways. And so far I haven't found things which would help me better. So for example, one of the key points in our formula is focus. So what open source allows me to do, open source allows me to choose the directions and then to really focus them. It doesn't have to be one direction. For example, in my case, currently it's artificial intelligence and it's security and it's developer relations and a blockchain will come in API at some point. So I'm doing like 3, 4 focuses, but to be honest, when I do them, they all like come to the one place. So if I select a project, it will be open source and AI, and it probably will have security and probably it will have blockchain, something like this. So because in open source, even a few years ago, we had over 2 million projects, 200 million projects on GitHub. You can really choose. So focus is something which can easily be achieved with, okay, not easily, but it can be achieved with open source, and it's very important because if you choose 200 projects out on a GitHub and you start doing all of them, you will end up nowhere. That's why I'm trying to tell people that you need to understand where you're going to and really, really, really focus. So the second thing in this formula, so if you focus, it helps your career, okay? And open source allows you to focus. Second thing is visibility. So it is very important. Each of us must understand, like you're on this amazing conference, right? And you need to understand that even if you're junior, or especially if you're junior, actually you made quite a long path to get to this point. And open source allows us to show your current skills and to show it to the public. Don't keep it to yourself, because I can take a person like any of you, it doesn't matter how senior or junior, and we can start contributing to NASA projects like NASA, like rockets. We can start contributing to them in 5 minutes time. And what I'm asking people to do when I'm helping somebody, I'm not helping one person, I'm helping thousands. So when I'm helping somebody, I'm asking this person to tweet and write articles and be open, because others are looking at us, upcoming generations are looking at us, and they're learning from us, and our colleagues are learning from us. So that's important. That really helps to be visible to others. I see it as a part of our jobs now. So another one is action. So it's not enough for Nikita to know like, oh, I like security, oh, I like AI, or oh, I like such and such. And it's not enough for me to be like visible, I don't know, to tweet every day. Well, actually tweeting is an action, right? It's not enough for people just to know that Nikita is somewhere there. I need to do something. And actually in open source, it's a catch, because I'm trying to, that will be later, I'm trying to do something all the time, and I'm trying to change, to increase the quality of the stuff and change the focus a little bit with time. You will see it here, I think it's growth. But yeah, if you check my Twitter account, my LinkedIn account, you'll see that, especially Twitter, that I'm trying to share daily. And what I'm doing, I'm trying to read what other people are doing. And when I see something cool happening, or not really cool, but like a person could use some help, I'm retweeting it, I'm adding some ideas, and like together we get some ideas and It actually works. So it's better to step into open source project and to go to Twitter and write that I understand nothing, I don't know how to start, I'm lost, because that's an action. If instead you step into open source project, you'll just buy all the books in the world and you'll start reading, and like in 2 years time you'll make a commit. That's not what I want. I want you to tweet about it on day zero, like even before you start. Tweet that I'm going to do open source, mention Nikita, mention Bruno, BR man, and we'll get started. So another one is skill. So that's what I love about open source, that yes, you can, for example, what we all can do when we pick up new open source project, we can tweet about them, and this is cool. But then you can use open source project to really grow your skill, because just tweeting that, oh, let's say link free exists, that's not, it is good, but you can do better. And with time, as you do open source project, as you are part, because open source is more about people, it's about community being together. And then you start understanding that, oh, actually link-free can generate a QR code. Oh, actually it's a GitHub project, and actually, oh, such and such and such. And then, because you absorb all this new content, you can, and you absorb all the new skills, and people recommend you, to read books, to do such and such. For example, with link-free, Eddie Jaut was giving some ideas, and he asked me to give him feedback, and I did it, and I said that, well, look, this thing is, there was particular thing I didn't like, but he said, oh, it's being fixed already. So, and as you do it, you learn new skills. So for example, I learned how to use ChatGPT and prompt engineering. I learned how to generate images when I needed them. I learned how to work with Canva. I learned there are so many things. I even learned some Portuguese. Why? Because I have a lot of friends from Brazil. My mentor is from Brazil. Then I thought, wow, why shouldn't I learn Portuguese now? It's just natural. So, and obviously it touches as well other things. So currently I'm doing AI because, well, because of the community, I learned that AI is so cool, because actually Bruno was talking about AI 1.5 years ago. So I was kind of prepared. So also in open source, it's also about giving. It allows you to give a lot. And you are not just visible, you are visible, but people also see how much you give and how much and they see your skill. And yes, sometimes we are tired. Sometimes well, I'm trying not to get burned out, because I have this thing that with open source, we are giving, but we also receive. Open source is, well, a license, a tool, a community, and it's everything, and can be used in a good way and in a bad way. So in a bad way, what I say, open source can be used as a free work for free, and that's not what I'm teaching people. I'm saying that, well, it's a very bad idea. Ideally, open source should be learning for free, because with open source, you can connect to those 200 plus millions projects on GitHub. For example, Atomic Jar, right? That's a testing, that's basically test containers for many languages, including Golang and Java. You can join them and you can work together with the very best developers from the industry. You can work on Kotlin. You can work on so many things. You can work with Steel, for example. So in this way, you won't be only giving, you'll be receiving a lot. For example, myself, I was writing articles about, because I really like Snyk, it's security software. So I was writing articles about them, and they contacted me and asked if I want to be an advocate. And now I'm a Snyk advocate. And similar happened with OpenUK. I was writing about OpenUK. It's an amazing community in UK about open source. And because I was giving so much, they contacted me and asked if I want to be their advocate. I didn't even know that it's possible to become. That all happened very quickly, actually. So giving is a very big thing, but make sure that you're getting a lot back. At least it should be knowledge, and it should be like healthy relations with the community. That's the most important, healthy relations with the community. Well, responsibility. Uh, that's a good one, because, and now it touches skill, because the thing with this presentation, for example, is that the presentation, I almost don't change the slides. but the things I tell about it, they keep changing because I'm growing. So because these days I'm more DevRel in open source. So for example, I'm part of Open UK. I'm the not advocate, ambassador. Sorry, I used the wrong word. I'm ambassador for Sneak and I'm ambassador for Open UK. So I know that I need to be careful with words because I can damage the whole organization. For example, often communities like Open UK, we have sponsors, we have relations, good relations, and I need to be careful. Uh, I also need to understand to be responsible of people's time. And when community sees how much you care about them, for example, I won't go to a CEO of Open UK anymore, and I won't tell that, oh, look, Amanda, let's make this talk because I know it's another person who deals with talks, and I will be very careful organizing talks, but then it will happen. So with Open UK or with open source, we have huge responsibility. So I'm personally a DevRel, but there are so many roles in open source, test engineers, developers, technical writers. We all have huge responsibility. We need to be creating quality stuff, and we need to be ready to get feedback, especially negative feedback, and get better. And that's a huge responsibility. We cannot just don't care, like whatever. That's toxic and it destroys communities. Consistency, that's the most important thing. One of the most important things in life and open source. That's what actually Bruno taught me. The idea is that you need to do small thing every day and then you succeed. It's much better than to do one big thing. For example, in open source, if you come to a new project and you create a huge commit and you push it, most probably there's a good chance they won't accept it. So imagine you worked for a month, you created this amazing commit and you pushed it and you created the pull request and then they won't accept it because it's a big commit and they don't know you. And well, there's just not enough trust. And then you will get damaged. These people will feel not very happy because they know you suffer, but they just cannot risk code from somebody they don't know. So instead, what I prefer, like for example, a friend of mine, he was like, oh, coming to communities and saying, oh, I can make a Java website for you or something like this. I told him that that's the wrong thing to do. Come to the community you really like and ask them, how can you help? And then start doing small things to them daily. And you will get noticed. You'll create a good habit of developing daily and everybody will benefit. And then with time it will grow. Now, the bad things which you can do in open source, but they can kill your career. So selfishness or me, that's why it's M. So sometimes people don't like to share. And for example, if I was doing this presentation, I was saying, like OpenUK is only about me, Sneaker is only about me, SEAL is only about me. First of all, it's a lie. And second, it will cut off other people. They will stop liking me. They will stop helping me. For example, what I saw happening sometimes, in Twitter, sometimes people just copy other people's posts, something which went viral. They copy it and paste it as their own post. What I'm saying in this case is that, well, it's wrong. So for so many points. And by the way, you just missed a good business opportunity because instead of stealing from somebody, let's say Bruno writes a good post. Again, he writes so many good posts. Instead of stealing it, reshare it from Bruno and then put your comment on it. Something like, I like that, I didn't like that. That will inspire Bruno to write more and you'll create a new connection. Similar, like, for example, in open source, when your pull request doesn't get accepted, don't be selfish. There is a reason why it didn't get accepted. So ask why it didn't get. Try to understand, and assuming that community is healthy, which is often the case, then ask them, okay, like that's fine. I understand that. How can I help that it doesn't happen again? Maybe, I don't know, GitHub Actions, maybe some documentation, maybe something else. But try to think not about just yourself as a, Jedi Master or something like this from Star Wars, but think of yourself as a part of community. So selfishness is actually not very good for you, but being selfless is also not good. You need to be visible and you need not to be selfish. It's a balance, okay? So one of the things which can kill your career and it can damage you in open source as well is lying. So there are examples. One of the example was a person who he used Twitter software which followed people, and when they followed him, he unfollowed them, let's say in 3 days time. So he was using it to grow as he thought, because it's not a real growth. And then this person got caught, and it wasn't good. Stealing somebody's code, pretending it's yours, stealing somebody's text, artifacts, whatever. I don't like lying. Personally, if you come to me and you ask like, for example, a person came to me and she just finished a data science camp and she asked me like, oh, now I will get a job, like easy, right? And I was like, well, the market is tough because when people come to me, you know that I'm not going to lie. I will be not probably if it's tough, if I know it will be tough for you, I will try to like give you the whole picture and find a way to build the bridge. But I won't tell you that, let's say, I don't know, Max. Let's say Max just finished school. I won't tell that, oh, Max, it's a very good idea to go to boot camp for $20,000. There are so many jobs in IT. Just go to boot camp. No, I will try to explain to Max that, you need to consider all the possibilities and how much it will cost in the market. And maybe there's an alternative like open source. So, and then Max will probably come back to me. That happened to me when people didn't accept what I told them, but then they came back and they said, "Oh, actually, you were right." And the last one, it's being difficult. So, when people approach me, they know that I will try to find a way to talk to them. So that's why I don't do politics at all. I might watch some politics, but I don't talk politics with people. Because I have friends all around the world, and I'm trying to do better with open source. I'm trying to bring them together to the projects. I'm learning the languages. I have friends from India and Pakistan, from Ukraine and Russia. I have friends from Brazil. I have friends from United Kingdom, from Africa, from Central Africa, from all around the world, from United States, of course, from Canada. So if I start being difficult, or if I start doing politics, I will just damage the whole community. So I'm trying to do what I can do to make this world better. So being difficult can really kill it can really damage. It doesn't matter how visible you are, or how many good actions you are doing. But if you are very difficult, if you just shout at people, they won't use your open source project. They will just know that, oh, they come to you and they say that, there's security breach, and you're just shouting at them like, oh, what can you know about security? No, that's not the way to do. So that's why the most important thing about any open source project is to have a healthy community, because that's how the project will get better. And even ideal project, if it's led by difficult people, it will die. The project will die. So how do I normally apply the knowledge, especially now? How do I help people with open source? So what I do, I hope you see the screen. So that's a picture from LinkedIn, right? So for example, I help people from my friends from India or friends from any other part of the world. So what I'm telling them when they come to me and they say, "Oh, I want to do open source. I want to do open source," and I'm telling them, "No, you don't. This I don't believe that you want to do open source because there's so many cool things in this world. I think that you probably want something else. Maybe you want to get a job. Maybe you want, to do some cool scientific stuff. Maybe you want something else. So what is it what you want? Especially these days, it's normally a job. So what I'm telling these people, these friends, that let's do one thing. Tell me what is your ideal job in 5 years from now? Like ideal job. Everything went well and like all the grants, everything. Cool. Principal somebody. So in this case, for example, the person was like in 5 years' time, ideally this person would have been a principal engineer. So what we did, we go to LinkedIn, and LinkedIn has this tab, jobs, right? Or careers, something like this. You go there, you select your area, let's say Brazil or Rio de Janeiro or whatever, like any nice city. And you type this principal engineer there, or I don't know, staff backend developer or just senior Java developer. And you might even want to click remote. I'm not sure about these days, but like it might be a good idea to check. Let's say you put on senior Java developer and remote, and let's say something like this comes. Why I like going for this position? We're not applying to this position, right? So because I often help, for example, juniors. There's no way juniors applying for principal, but principal descriptions of principal jobs, they're high quality. They are often high quality, and you need to understand that 90% of source in any project is open source. So in this case, what I'm doing, I'm like, okay, let's find three best jobs from the market. Let's say principal backend engineer from three different companies, and let's find which open source projects they're using. For example, we found three of them which were using Elasticsearch, each of them, and Elasticsearch is an open source project. So now, instead of spending 6 hours per day sending resumes to these companies, right? Spend 1 hour per day sending resumes, and 4 hours per day spend doing Elasticsearch and maybe two other projects, open source projects, which are also belong to this job. What it will do now, and then spend the remaining time taking a rest and talking to your family and stuff like that. So now, if before you came to the interview, let's say you come to the first round, and they will ask you like, as a junior or as a senior, somebody who's looking for a job, what are you doing now? So in the best case, you will say that, oh, I'm doing a course, I'm doing such and such. But with this thing, what you can do is that, last week I closed this ticket in Elastic. Oh, last week I actually wrote this and this and this post for Elastic. I created this video for Elastic. Oh, I was working with Sneak, I was working with Sivo, and you have tickets closed. So now this company, which is hiring, and let's say they're serious about Elastic. How do you think, whom will they hire? Somebody who was going on all the kind of, HTML5 courses at the best, or maybe just spending 6 hours per day sending resumes. So this person was sending resumes, and you are sending resumes, but not as much. You're more careful with like whom you send it and how much. But instead, you are growing, and every day you grow using open source. And open source allows you to connect to the real projects. It's the real cool stuff. It's the stuff people like. You don't get jobs at companies as Elastic daily. It's like it's a very good job. And with open source, you can actually work together with these people. You can learn from the best of the best of the best. You can, for example, do Gradle projects, right? You can grow with them. And now you come to the companies who care about Elastic. They care about Gradle. And you've been trained by friends from Elastic. You've been trained by friends from Gradle. And you've spent most of your days being trained by them. This is better than MIT. Because these people, they will be so busy, they won't even have time to teach even at Harvard and MIT, right? So that's why it's so important. But by the way, Harvard and MIT obviously are really cool, and you really need to consider learning there as well, like online material stuff. So that's why I'm helping people to set the goal and focus and use open source in this formula to get there. So with me, like if you're doing Elasticsearch, you will start doing it immediately. We will just tweet about it immediately, day 0, and then we'll be doing it every day. So that's an old presentation. I need to update it, but obviously I'm ambassador for Open UK, and that's a really good community to follow. And I know it's called Open UK, but it's Modern UK, and our meetups, they're hybrid. And we run a conference, and it's on YouTube. So the last time it was opened, it was run in front of House of Parliament, and it was opened by the person who created Wikipedia. And it was really cool. We mostly care about communities and security and stuff like that, so it's more like strategic. But it's really good idea to subscribe to us and follow. And it would be really nice. I'm not sure if you have something like this in Brazil, but if one of you, or 10 of you, or 100 of you, if you decide to create something like Open Brazil, that would be super duper, because this is a huge thing. There's so many aspects to it. It's like Star Wars, right? It's like, especially the security, software bills of material, This is amazing stuff. So yeah, people to follow. Amanda Brock, she's a CEO of Open UK. Absolutely amazing person. She used to be she's a lawyer. She worked in Canonical um, for more than 6 years, I think. And she's one of the people behind Open UK. She's CEO. She's amazing. So that's my friend. That's what happens. You meet amazing people from all around the world because of open source. Bilal Khan, he's from Pakistan. He's absolutely amazing DevOps. He's self-made DevOps. He lives on the border between Pakistan and Afghanistan, but he's with all the sometimes electricity is not there. But he has an amazing, even without electricity on some days, he still managed to create an amazing YouTube channel. And he has a lot of followers on Twitter. And his videos on YouTube channel, they're top notch. Amazing person. Definitely follow. I belong. Kai. That's another legend. Kunal Kushwaha. Sorry, Kunal, if I mispronounce your name. So yeah, he's a DevRel from Sivo, amazing organization, by the way. They have Sivo Academy where they teach you about cloud and stuff, really good stuff. And they're very good with helping the communities. So he has more than 400,000 on YouTube and he posts tech stuff there. And he's the open source legend come true because he was not in the best college in India, but because he was very persistent and focused, like this formula, but I'm not sure he was aware of this formula. He just did it. But he was openly learning and doing open source and stuff, and then people noticed him. And the rest is history, but he's one of the very top influencers in open source. So that's Adi Jaude. So yeah, he's an amazing person. Another DevRel from open source. He's a founder of Linkfree. And Linkfree, it allows you to basically it's your personal website with all the links, So you can show QR code to somebody and they will scan it. In the end of this presentation, you will see QR code, which will bring you to my page. And this page is actually an open source project, which is built with Linkfree from Eddie. He's amazing. His YouTube channel is amazing. That's Loftwa, I think Dan, right, from Australia. He knows everything about AI and stuff like that. Also, amazing person to follow. And that's the power of open source community. You get inspired so much by these people and you know whom you can ask what. This is amazing. Oh, sorry. That's obviously Bruno, the art Java man. Oh, he's a legend. If you don't know who Bruno is or what he's doing, I'm not sure who's in Brazil right now, you or me. Yeah, so yeah, he's a legend. So, and that's my QR code. If you scan it, then it should take you to my link free page. And yeah, follow me, connect me on LinkedIn. Obviously, unfortunately I cannot give you jobs out of my pocket, but I do what I do, and when I can help, I'm trying to help. And if I cannot help right now, and I will either help you to build the bridge to grow with the person who will get a job or do some cool project or something. Or I will tell that, I don't know how to solve it, but I have friends, so let's ask for help openly on Twitter or LinkedIn, and we'll find help. So yeah, something like this, Max. Does it does it help?
Oh, oh, it's amazing. Oh, it's really to recognize because I'm using Linktree as well. So we
Oh, this
could.
is
It's amazing. So I could follow him right now because
yeah.
I saw that. Amazing.
Yeah, you
So
can write you can write to him because what you will notice with people with AD, what you will notice with Kunal, if you write a post and you mention him and he will say that, oh, I like it or I didn't like it, there's a very good chance he will answer. Although you might think that, oh, these people are so busy, they are, but they still manage to find time. I don't know how, so that to answer people.
uh, managing time is the challenge for everyone.
Yeah.
Time management. Okay, so amazing. Thanks again, Nikita, for this presentation. I think that you bring a lot of valuable things for the community, especially the people that trying to boost their careers, focus on open source. So, people, don't forget to subscribe the channel. Did you share your channel
Oh,
that you have?
I'm not doing the channel at the moment.
Okay.
It takes energy.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
preferring to
really,
lead
yeah.
by example. I don't, well, the idea of the channel was to share with people what they're doing like weekly. We're doing that, but now there's enough people who are doing that. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to lead by example. So instead of doing the YouTube this weekend, what going to do, there's a small project. Well, it's not very small. It's called Refactor AI. I think, as I understand, it's a plugin to IDEs, which will help you to refactor your code, and it's trained on code. It's not ChatGPT. It's actually they fed a lot of, well, it is ChatGPT, but it's been fed a lot of language models from programming languages, and it's open source, by the way. I think today they went open source. So instead of telling other people that you need to do, go and do open source and blah blah blah, instead of that, I will spend my weekend, a small portion of it, Sunday, to investigate Refactor AI, and I will write a post on Dev2. So if you follow my QR code, you will see my Dev2. It's not very big, 600 people, I think. It's still considerable. So I will write a post there, and I will write it in a way that other people can try the stuff out and do it. And I will always reshare if you reshare my post and you write that, oh, it didn't work or it worked, or you ask there. Let's say if you DM me, I will try to help. But if you will retweet my stuff and you ask there, I will definitely try to do my best to help. So you need to make choices all the time with open source. I was trying to do one-on-one mentoring. It's not scalable. When I got over 900 people, it became very hard to mentor people. So I started doing it openly, and then I started doing YouTube, and now it's the next level. So it's like a movie.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, that's okay. But you are writing on Devi too, so people could keep in watching what you are doing on open source. And also, I I'm looking for to push my focus on open source as well by doing as well because I think that is the best way to contribute. As I said,
No,
it's hard to scale that thing. So we
it's
know
actually
that.
quite easy. What you can do, check if Open Brazil exists. If Open Brazil doesn't exist, create it. So don't participate yourself in open source projects like, full in, because if the case in Brazil is that not many people are doing open source, then remember this formula selfish. It's not about Max becoming the top. Your maximum value won't be in Max doing open source as such. Your maximum value will be in helping tens of thousands of smart boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen and all the changes around the Brazil to actually find their way in open source and start contributing in different ways. Because, for example, in Brazil, many people may be not very comfortable with English. In many countries, it is the case. I'm not sure about Brazil, but I'm afraid it might be the case. So your maximum value might be like talk to people about open source, create Open Brazil, and start with Linktree, and maybe make a Brazil version of a Portuguese version of Linktree. I don't know. So
Okay,
that would be
okay,
amazing.
okay, yeah.
I
Okay,
would
great.
help.
Well, my headset is failing a little bit, but I,
That's fine.
I'm believing. I think that you bring a lot of insights. I hope the people down here in Brazil, especially anyone that is watching us right now, will get more insights in order to improve themselves. Look, using the formula that you bring in your presentation, focus on
It's
the
Bruno's
focus.
formula. It's not mine.
Yeah,
I'm
no, no,
just
I
volunteering.
got it. I got no, but it's a kind of formula that should be spread in order to help the people. So
Yeah.
the reason why we are doing this is to help people. Am I right? So if we
Yeah,
can
that's
do this for help people, we are doing this thing more meaningful. So I'm very happy to having you here. So thanks again, Likita. I don't know. Do you want to? I saw in the chat, but no one sent message. But along the way, when the people wants to talk to you, the people can reach out to you on the social medias
yeah,
as
yeah,
well. So feel free to reach out
yeah.
him.
Yeah, me,
And
LinkedIn,
that's it.
stuff like that. Good.
That's it.
What do you
So
say?
Nikita,
Muito
do you want to
obrigado.
say something more? Oh, amazing! Your pronunciation is better than me. Okay,
Mm,
amazing. So, guys,
I'm
I must thank everyone that's watching us, and still tuned because we will have another session in a few minutes. And stay tuned. Okay, Nikita, do you want to say something more?
No, just thank you for my friends from Brazil. Amazing culture, and thank you for my mentor. I can see Brazil in too.
Great.
It's cool.
Let's book another conversation. I'd like to bring you in a coffee with Java session. So because I'm doing some contribution in open source, and I'd like to bring new
Yeah,
guests to
yeah, sure. That's it.
to discuss a little bit. So I will talk to you later. Okay.
Okay,
So
cool.
okay.
Okay,
See
see
you
you.
guys.
Ciao.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Bye.